Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God. Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. It's whom you serve. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. You know, you don't have to be perfect. But if you're going to come over to God's team, just try to be a better person. Try to become better, you know. And you might have situations that you deal with for the rest of your life, but if you come to God and you deal with it, He can help you get through it. That doesn't mean that you don't have to suffer your consequences. We all do, regardless whether we're good or bad, or we love God or we don't love God, you know. For those of you just tuning in, I focus out of 3 major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist text called The Shape of Suffering. Without no this, there's no that. And everything that we say and do has an effect on our senses, you know. Dependent co-arising, look it up. Anyway, I try to rotate these texts at least twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how I'm led to meditate each day. I'm back in the rotation for the Quran. I'm still in chapter 3, but we're moving along. Chapter 3, section 17, Battle of, if I don't say the names correctly, forgive me, Battle of Oud afforded a distinction. Section 17, verses 155 through 170. O you who believe, be not like those who disbelieve, and say of their brethren when they travel in the earth or engage in fighting, had they been with us, they would not have died or been slain, that Allah may make it to be a regret in their hearts. And Allah gives life and causes death, and Allah is seer of what you do. And if you are slain in Allah's way, or you die, surely Allah's protection and His mercy are better than what they amass. And if you die or you are slain to Allah, you are gathered. Thus it is by Allah's mercy that thou art gentle to them. And hadst thou been rough, hard-hearted, they would certainly have dispersed from around thee. So pardon them and ask protection for them, and consult them in important matters. But when thou hast determined, put thou trust in Allah. Surely Allah loves those who trust in Him. I love God. I don't care what anybody says. You can just say, I don't care if I make a mistake. I'll still love Him. Because I'm going to die for myself. I'm not dying for anybody else. And what anybody else thinks about my salvation, they don't know. They can, you know. You don't know what my relationship to God is. No one knows what somebody else's relationship is to God. That's why we got to be careful. Judging people and stuff like that. We got to be real careful about that. Right bullies and bad guys. If Allah helps you, there is none that can overcome you. And if He forsakes you, who is there that can help you after Him? And in Allah should the believers put their trust. And it is not for a prophet to act dishonestly. And whoever acts dishonestly will bring his dishonesty on the day of resurrection. Then shall every soul be paid back fully what it has earned, and they will not be wronged. People don't have to believe that they have to atone for whatever they do, good or bad. You don't have to believe it. I'm encouraging you to try to believe it. It's a personal walk. It is then he who follows the pleasure of Allah, like him who incurs Allah's displeasure, and his abode is hell. And it is an evil distinction. Let me read that again. Is then he who follows the pleasure of Allah, like him who incurs Allah's displeasure, and his abode is hell. And it is an evil distinction. There are grades with Allah, and Allah is seer of what you do. Keep playing with Him if you want to. Keep on. I don't care if you sitting on high or sitting on low. Certainly Allah conferred a favor on the believers when he raised among them a messenger from among themselves, reciting to them his messages and purifying them and teaching them the book and the wisdom, although before that they were surely in manifest error. What when a misfortune befell you and you had inflicted twice as much as, what? When a misfortune befell you and you had inflicted twice as much, you say, whence is this? Say, it is from yourselves. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. And that which befell you on the day when the two armies met was by Allah's permission, that he might know the believers, and that he might know the hypocrites. And it was said to them, come fight in Allah's way or defend yourselves. They said, if we knew fighting, we would have followed you. Let me read that again. And that he might know the hypocrites. And it was said to them, come, fight in Allah's way or defend yourselves. They said, if we knew fighting, we would have followed you. They were on that day nearer to disbelief than to belief. They say with their mouths what is not in their hearts, and Allah best knows what they conceal. Those who said of their brethren, whilst they themselves held back, had they obeyed us, they would have been, had they obeyed us, they would not have been killed. Say, avert death from yourselves if you are truthful, and think not of those whom are killed in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they are alive, being provided sustenance from their Lord, rejoicing in what Allah has given them out of his grace, and they rejoice for the sake of those who, being left behind them, have not yet joined them, that they have no fear, nor shall they grieve. They rejoice for Allah's favor and his grace, and that Allah wastes not the reward of the believers. Thank you.